University, where we let the cat rule everything. Tonight we're going to be talking about curved lines and your cards. And curved lines are a perfect thing to talk about when you're talking about a cat. This is just happenstance, but a cat, think about how graceful a cat moves, how curved its back is, its movement can be. That's what curved lines do. I'm sorry you can't see him. He's right here. He's just adorable. He is just such a good boy. I'm sorry you're going to have to take care of yourselves because I'm just going to talk to my kitty. I haven't seen him all day because he's been sleeping. But we are going to talk about curved lines tonight on Fun University Cards Plus. This is the third class of June 2021, and I welcome you all. Ooh, we put it right there on the wet thing. All right, this is Fun University. I just told you that. This is Cards Plus. I told you that. We're talking about line. We've talked about horizontal line. We've talked about vertical line. We've talked about diagonal lines. If you want to see those shows, go back to the past shows. Oh, you were so cute. And I think there's some reasonable things to watch about them. This is, we have done craft. You know what? Let's just do this. I'll be right back. Hi, I'm Mary Gunn. Welcome to Fun University. Hello, I'm Mary Gunn. I'm Mary Gunn Fun, founder and head professor at Fun University, welcoming you to the Cards Plus Lab. Number 3, June 2021. 2021. Yeah, that's right. That's right. This is we mostly do paper crafts. We mostly make cards. So if you like cards, if you like paper crafts, that's where you should be right now. Join us and subscribe if you want. We have been talking about the design element of line, especially in cards. And a lot of it's intuitive. You kind of know what's going on. But then when you start thinking about what's going on and hearing what it's all about, it kind of opens up your eyes on some options that you have in the future for card making and some options in understanding what makes a good design. So that's what we're doing. Hello, Judy Lee and 5K and Sherry. We've got the moderator of Sherry. She's the one with the blue and the wrench. If you have any questions, she does know a lot about Fun University. I'm telling you, the girl knows. And so I think it will have a small group though, so I should be able to handle this just fine. The first week, was that the first week? Yes, the first week we talked about horizontal and vertical lines, and we're using fruit for our topic, our subject matter this month, because fruit is so fun in summer, and this is summer, and it's like 97 degrees here, and my kitty's right here. I'm going to go ahead and pet him because he needs it, and so we talked about how vertical lines give you height. Horizontal lines give you strength and stability. Diagonal lines, we talked about last week, and that makes it playful. And there's lots and lots of samples to be held inside the videos. So if you like that, if you want to see them up close and personal with tips and thoughts, you can join our Patreon. We will talk about that more, but it is Mary Gunn Fun with 2 N's Patreon. We are a community supported show, along with Craft Roulette and Cut the Crap and Create. And so we appreciate you guys coming alongside and helping us defray some of our costs, like some new software we got just recently. So let's go ahead and start looking at pretty stuff, shall we? All right, Kerwin, can I get down behind you? There we go. So here are a few samples of some curves just to get us started thinking about it. Okay, the deal... diagonals and curves, they've got some things similar about them, don't they? The curves will have a downward slope and an upward slope. So same with diagonals. So if you think about that, you get the playfulness, but then you get width of horizontal and back around, but you get some grace and some movement. When you look at a diagonal line, you get just tumbly feeling. You're going somewhere, probably down or up, but oftentimes down because we've got that gravity thinking going on there. But when you think, and so sometimes you think on diagonals, you just start thinking speed and going faster and faster. Hey, Bitty Penny. But with a curved line, you've got deer, galloping gait, gracefully in the meadow. You've got Kerwin arching his beautiful back and being very graceful. You've just got a gentleness and a gracefulness that you cannot achieve with any other lines. So, hello Sharon. This is a card that I made with Bitty Penny on Craft Roulette. And what I wanted to show you, we've got horizontal, so we've got some stability there. We've got some vertical going on. So we've got some height, and then we've got a little bit of curve, so we've got some gracefulness. Then you open it up, and you see that curved line continue. See how that works? There's nothing really diagonal except in the curve on this card. But I like that card. It's great fun. Let's look at this guy. We've got some big flowers, but we also have the curved line in that little fleur there. Fleurs were real in for a while. They are so graceful and so pretty, but we don't use them a whole lot right now. So, oh dear me. Oh, Sharon, your swimming suit top is shipped. Oh dear. Your last time for live, but you'll be on Craft Roulette, so that's good. Hi, Ashley. So anyway, that's see how the gracefulness happens in this card because of that pretty little fleur there. And then we've got some horizontal lines going on with these little backgrounds. And we've got a pretty strong horizontal line there, but you know that the lines in the message there is pretty strong too, and they're pretty vertical. So I got a kind of a balance there. I think what I like, so I don't forget. Most focal points I think are stronger if they have a variety of the lines in them. If they have a horizontal, if they've got a vertical aspect, if they have some sort of diagonal, including a curve, if that helps. Which like I said at the beginning, you mostly will be intuitive. But if you do have problems with a focal point and you're going, that just doesn't fit right, it's just not going together, just think about those lines and see if there's something that you can work with. And then also, not just on the focal point, but then apply it to the rest of the card and see if there's something that could be crosshatched so that you've got some vertical lines, some horizontal lines to give it some stability. And that's true this way too. The feeling that you want, if you want it really rigid, go with straight lines. If you want more playfulness, go with diagonals. If you want grace and some softness, go add some curves. That's really a lot of it right there. But anyway, yes, thank you, Sharon. Hit like, everybody, and right, live chat. That's great. I always forget that. So this was a stencil that I made out of vellum, and it was really fun to do, but you can tell how that just feels so flowy, doesn't it? Doesn't it just feel like there's action? It's not just the shaker, and because I don't make good shakers. They just kind of shake stayers. They're kind of stayers. But see, well, there they go. But you can feel the flow and the gracefulness in that background. I really like that one. I think it's fun. But then I went ahead. It was almost too much action, so I gave it a little stability with a little bit of a stencil that is pretty much horizontal. And there's that guy again. Okay, so Kerwin, what are we going to do with you? Let's look at, I just thought of this a little while ago, and then I decided to eat dinner instead of fix it. But if we have two card fronts, just A2 size card front, that'll work just fine. And let me find a couple strips of cardstock that we can use for a template, so to speak. And let's just see. Kerwin, I've got some black cardstock. It looks just like you, sweet boy. Yes. Oh, that's right. Okay, so that one's going to be just fine. Oh, gosh. Okay, so we'll use that one. And then we'll make one that's a curvy one. So let's cut this one up into some action here. Oh, look at all the black fur, Kerwin. Whose is that? We'll just do some nice little things going on here. So we can just kind of play with the concepts and see if that helps. Okay, we've got our little black lines, and those are going to be all horizontal. We've got a pretty stable looking little card there. Not pretty, but it's stable. There we switch it around, and it is no longer stable. It feels like you're going downtown in all those tall, tall buildings, or in the middle of a forest of tall, tall trees. Now, if we add those with a little bit, mix it up a little bit, so that we have both the horizontal and the vertical. Oh, you get a letter E, but you have a little more height with some stability. That helps us a lot. Now, what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? What do we do if we want to put some fruit on there? Okay, for one thing, I am using rounded fruit. If you wanted to do just geometric shapes, you could really get into this and get real nerdy and get your PhD in this. But I'm not going to go there tonight. We are going to see if we just plop some of these little fruities in these little grids. We still have a very rigid feeling, don't we? Even though our E's falling over, we have a very rigid feeling, very organized, very compartmentalized, and that's a fine look. But if you don't want that look, say you want to be a little more playful, we'll add a little bit of a diagonal there. Oh, there's some feet. Hello, mister. There's some feet. Yep, we'll just add that little diagonal. And we'll make these guys on here, but we'll keep them still straight. And we're still going to be a little bit rigid, even though we have a diagonal. It's still more playful than the other compartmentalized, very strict, very rigid Tetris board that we had previously. We can even pull that away. And it's still a little rigid, little compartmentalized, but a little more playful. Okie doke. All right, so what happens when we take this guy? You know, Nike knows what it's about. They want to give you the feeling of a graceful, curved line. That's why they have that swoosh. They want you to think, oh, I can run like a gazelle. If Nike used just a straight line, they might make you feel like you were solid, or they might make you feel like you could just jump up straight, but they're not going to give you a nice curved, a nice graceful movement line. Hello, Curry. Until they go swoosh. Whoa, buddy, you just kind of tripped. He's kind of my sweet boy. He's pushing buttons. My sweet boy's kind of great. Klutzy. Yes, kind of a klutzy guy. So if we have this little curve guy, we can put it on top so we can see how it, and we start using diagonal lines for our fruit instead of making them real rigid. Fruit's gonna fall real pretty. Hard to do with these shapes. Let's bring that one back down, bring that one up, there we got a little swoosh going on. So we've got just more of an arc. Much different. That is different than a diagonal, but it's still, using this kind of shape feels a little diagonally. It's got a more of an arc. I think the St. Louis Arc knows, they knew what to do too, didn't they? They were, let's make that nice curved thing. And that's what made it so magnificent as opposed to just another building. It was the arc, the curvedness of it all. So we've got that going on here. This was a little hard to do. Then also, we showed this one last week. We've got some pretty blocky stuff going on here. All right, they're very blocky, very, very blocky. But then if we separate them, and we have a straight line, one definite feel, then we separate them with a curved line, and we've got grace. We've got diagonal, a little playful, a little more fast motion to it. We've got grace. We've just got a softness that it adds. So that is that. That's kind of a funny way to look at, but that's funny. Oh, counter grace. No, that's not it at all. So if you want to learn more about the diagonal and the horizontal and the vertical, there's lots and lots of samples in the past videos. So in right here on Fun University. So we're going to go ahead and use a stencil tonight and make a little card using the stencil and try to make a bit of a curve here. Maybe we'll have a little more of a curve than I had on the other. We could even curve down. We have these little guys, so we could use these and just see what we want to do. Wonder if we talked about random stamping last week and having an emergency kit on how to make your stamping randomly, so to speak. Well, this is kind of like that. I'm just, I don't have to have it from one side to the other either. No, this is my piece right here. So I've got my card base, and this is my card front. We're going to talk about clusters here in just a moment because there's a bit of a, let's make that come down here. You could put a little saying right there. Look at that kind of, ooh, that's kind of groovy. And this is a fair thing to do if you, especially if you have dies, you can go ahead and cut them out and just play around with them before you marry them to the paper. You know what I'm thinking? This might be really pretty with a little yellow background in the blue. No, I think I'll go yellow. There might be ink on here. Let's try it. Nope. Okay. Well, we'll keep working on that. I think I decided last week, that this was not strong enough yellow, but I don't really want a strong yellow. I just want a little softness because we're going curvy, like Marilyn. Marilyn Monroe. I mean, honestly, what curves were her thing, right? And the softness and the beauty and the grace of it all. I think we'll bring it down a little bit. Almost just an implied curve here. There are definite cards that you can make with curves, but this is more of an implied curve for a feeling of grace and gentleness. Okay, so now I think I might just make this one instead of using the stencil. It's all pretty. And I did make, yeah, it doesn't even have to end right there at the edge. It can be asymmetric. We give this guy down a little bit. This guy goes up. Might pop him up. Bring this guy down. We're putting each of these pieces on a diagonal too, which makes it also very fun. You get movement within movement within movement. All becomes very Russian dollish. And there's no one way to do this. So there we're going to go ahead and add a little horizontal line to it too. So it's not too loosey-goosey. Has a little bit of structure. All right. Let's do it. I know he's going to go pretty much under everybody. Pretty thrilled by that. You're pretty much, we'll just take you up. You're not even the same green, so you're just kind of an interesting fellow. Twist this little guy off to the side. He can even hang off the side. That makes it even more random and a little more informal. I think these are so pretty. They're stenciled, and then I just fussy cut them out. I think they're very pretty. Because also, if you're thinking, if you really want to overthink this, you can think in terms of your these guys also having a soft feel to them, just as the graceful line will give it some soft feel. Nestled in there. I don't even know if I like the arrow. Let's see what happens if I cut the arrow off. I think we don't need the arrow. I think the arrow is a little bit too bossy. Since we're going soft, huh? Kind of fits right in there. Yeah, that's nicer. Nicer. Okay, we'll just let you nestle in the fruit. And like you look into a bin at the grocery store and you get a little surprise. Happy surprise there. Now, how big is this guy? We need to trim him. He's just under 4 by just under 5 1/4. So he is ready to go on a. We're going to go ahead and let him have some structure with that black in the background. So, and then put him on there, and you'll have, it's kind of pretty. Yeah, might fill him in a little bit with something, but maybe some really, some light. I don't know if I have the right gems for something like that, but some little pretty pearls or something like that would look lovely. I think it needs to be a little light and gentle though. Some little see-through gems, which I do not have. Whoopsie. Would be pretty. But maybe just some drops, some clear drops or something. I have some silver, but I think silver is a little brash. Brash for my little softness there. I don't want brash bouncing in there. Okay, this is called liquid glass. And it's, I can't remember what the other companies call it. But it is just a little, let me see if I can get it going. Don't ever want to put this on a project at this point first. Because you might end up with a big glob of tune. Where do we want these guys? Maybe right there. Okay, I don't know. Am I better now? Is that better? I was talking a little low. I kind of get into the. Oh, let me move my mic a little bit too. Is that more better, more gooder? I want it to be better and gooder. Hi, Roberta. I do trail off. Mr. Producer said I trail off. It's because I get down in the weeds of my thoughts. I just kind of forget what I'm doing here. So I apologize. Okay, so that kind of has a hold. I like it. I think it turned out kind of pretty. And then when I stencil, I don't think this one's nearly as pretty. First time isn't bad, but I think this one's better. This was stenciled right on top of the card base. All gooder, yes. So I think this one turned out prettier because I could do more with it. This one I didn't want to make any masks. I'll tell you, I was just being lazy, and but I think that one turned out okay. So do you see? I will go ahead and stretch my neck out and say, do you see a gracefulness about this? A fruity gracefulness about this, a gentleness because of the curvy line, a fruity curvy line. Very good. Then another thing that you can remember and think about to put different things together, meandering fruit. That's right. They're just out in the desert, meandering through life. Thank you, Ashley. Is combining the concepts. Here we've got, this is just a little Happy Mail packet. And here we've got a combined concept. We've got the big, strong, tall vertical. We've got another vertical. We've got a horizontal. And then right there in the middle of all things, at the intersection, we've got a diagonal line on the back of the bird. We've got some gracefulness on this little birdie's belly and on his head because you've got the curves here. So it all fits in together. And even though the pieces are rather disparate and there's no rhyme or reason for them to go together except for black and white, this was just out of my scrap bag and he was too. And so was all the stuff inside. I'll show you what this is. So on this side is just a little goodie bag for someone. And then on this side is a couple card bases and envelopes. So that is just a little bit of Happy Mail for somebody. And I thought, well, you know, that's kind of the thing going around is Happy Mail, putting things together for somebody else to have some fun with. So there we go. If you didn't see Biddy Penny's video on that, holy smackers, she got a whole big box of all sorts of stuff. It was remarkable. Woo! It was good stuff. All right, next, I want to talk about clusters because clusters can sometimes be a little bit confusing. Let me get a little bit of drinky. Alrighty, thank you. Clusters can be a little bit confusing to people, but I think if you break them down, once again, break everything down into their components, it's going to make sense. So this is something we looked at last week. This was kind of a funny thing. I haven't been able to throw it away, though. Maybe it'll end up in some Happy Mail. But this is just tissue paper, and you can see my Scotch tape, but maybe I'll put Scotch tape on more of it then, and then it will seem like that was on purpose. But this was just some tissue paper that I stamped some little red, some little, what are those things? Monsanto apples, and tried to work with, but it didn't really work. Now, if you look at this, what do we have? We've got 3, so we've got the rule of 3, the odds thing that everybody knows that one really well. I think I'll say it on our deathbed. Rule of 3s. Visual triangle. It's okay though. We know it that well. It is okay to know it that well. But what really makes this all come together then is you've got 2 diagonals, and then you've got the star, and he is upright. He's straight. He's straight up and down, and that gives that a little bit of playfulness and some stability at the same time. So let's play with that, some ideas, and see what we can come up with. Oh, I know what I was going to do. Okay, first, I was going to, I cut out some fruit, so we're going to play fruit basket upset and just see if we can get some good clusters out of this. I left them black and white on purpose because I didn't want to have the confusion of black and white while we're talking about design. And that is a whole nother thing to get the design and dealing with different colors. So I thought this will be better just to keep it black and white. Oftentimes when you have a cluster, you have it clustering around something, at the base of something, on the top of something, through it, up and down on one side or the other. And so I thought we would play with that too. So we're going to use this as our base. Oftentimes you will use different sizes and shapes of something that coordinates together. This month, of course, I'm doing fruit, so we're doing fruit. So we've got a little pear. Oh, no, that's right. We've got a lemon. I'm going to make, the pear is kind of the bossy one, so I'm going to make it vertical. I'm going to stick that lemon over off on the side. And I'm going to tuck that little strawberry, and it also is going to be diagonal. We've got 2 diagonals pointing to the tall guy in the middle. Get that straightened. And so there we have a basic cluster. Then we can start tucking things in to give it a little more stability. What are we going to do to give it stability? We're going to make it a little more horizontal. We can add a little horizontal sentiment in there. And then if you want to make it have a little more height, you can add a small, I had something here. Where would it go? There it is. I didn't want to cut these things out. But you can add a small, rather little element, such as a butterfly, to spread around, or some embellishments like little gems, little black dots, those sort of things. Or you can also choose some thread. Where's the end? And make it go wherever you want it, whatever line you find that it would be helpful to do. Make a big old mess. Probably a diagonal line behind the hair. It would be kind of messy, but I would get it well twisted up. Paving. But on every cluster, I really feel if we had this guy off to the side too, you would lack some of the stability and the height of it. It just kind of, to me, I need to have a little bit of height to it and a little bit of horizontal, vertical axis there. So I just like to stick that guy right there in the middle. And it does get a little formulaic, but at the same time, you will develop a little, it will become a rhythm and make it easier to do the next time. If you think it's too small on an area, you can add more fruit or more of the elements, or spread them out a little bit if you need it. That's kind of pretty in that black and white. I kind of like it. And then just on the back there, if you don't think this, you can play with sentiments. This one, apparently, what do you think of that sentiment? It's too darn big, isn't it? So this would, some people would maybe want to go ahead and just stamp that right there. I wouldn't make that shot. I wouldn't make that call, but that is too big. And that one is not my favorite, but I like it. I like it connected. I like it connected. And then, of course, another thing, when you're messing with it, it's not a bad thing to, if you're not sure about it, go ahead and just snap a picture of it. If you think this is the one that you like, go ahead and snap a picture of it and then come back to it later. I do like it in black and white. I got to admit it. And then you could add some little pearls. That would be pretty too. Some little gems around the edges to just keep your eye going where? To the focal point. Now, if you all of a sudden, if you get an urge, you've got something that all of a sudden you think is pretty and you really want to add it, and so you just stick it down here, it's going to detract from your pretty little focal point there. It may be the cutest darn element in the whole universe, but it's going to, and if you want everybody to look at that little cute darn element, go for it. But otherwise, give it some thought before you stick some extra little doodads on. And for instance, also, if you did one up here, where's your eye gonna go? Why is this guy not playing nice with these guys? Because he's out here in another play yard where everybody else, all the kids are down here in this focal point. Thank you, Biddy Penny. Well, hello, Jamie. You're always at some kind of event. That's fun. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and, I think that's a winner. I like it. I'm going to move that off to the side. You know why? Because I have this card opening on the wrong side. Okay, so here's another thing. you could put that inside of this field also. Nothing wrong with it. This thing, there's something wrong with this thing. It's gone crazy. It's just making me kind of. I am going to give it a little bit of tape and tell it just hold still. So that I can pull its little hair if I want to, but I want it to hold still. Here we go. Now he will behave better. Okay, so back to this guy. You could put, there's some other concepts. Let's go ahead and turn it around so that I have it on the right side in case I like it. You could put this at, center it. Some people they feel very comfortable if things are nice and centered and symmetric. That's okay. So you could do that. You could put that guy right in the middle. Another diagonal. If we put these all just horizontally on the same axis though, horizontal, vertical, it's not cute. Let's just face it. It's just not cute. It's looks like Vegas. And that's not a winning Vegas lineup. So not going there. But we've got our vertical. We'll add a couple horizontal, some diagonals. Add some tuckers for some horizontal balance, stability. This is so un-me that it's very hard to not just rip it down on the side there. And then we can go real symmetric in the middle. That's not horrible, but let's cover that up right there. That gives it a little bit of weight. Just a little bit. Just humor me. Give me a little bit of weight there, please. But that would be another thing where if you wanted it more symmetric, you could also do this where you have it the same on both sides. It's not as interesting as composition as the asymmetric with a little bit of variance, but it's okay. So I'm overthinking this. Is anybody else thinking I'm overthinking this? I'm pretty darn sure I'm overthinking this. But those are just some thoughts on that kind of concept. Now we're going to try something. I think it will come back at the end all finished with my original design. I think that's going to be okay with me. Okie doke. So have a couple other things, another card here to walk us through. Which one? I thought I had. Nope. Okay. And I've got some pieces here for a base because it's nice to have a base. So I've got a nice black base to work with. I've got a long tag that would have to be trimmed up. And a piece of black and white dotted paper that would have to be trimmed up too. Okie doke. Now, we could put all these guys over there, but I've got something else up my sleeve. How about with these guys? How would this look? Come here, darling. Actually, it kind of blends into nothing, doesn't it? Doesn't hold its own. Could have something like that underneath it. You could see it, but right now there's not enough contrast, and that's a whole nother principle. We're not going there tonight. So I cut out I like ice cream, so I made some ice cream cones. Here, they're all the same. What I liked about these is they're long, so you have the vertical element. They've got a width thing going on there, so you've got a horizontal element, and you've got a diagonal element, so you've got the playfulness of it. But what happens when you have three of the same shapes for a cluster? And you've got the one guy standing up, and you've got two diagonals on the side. It just looks kind of Yeah, it doesn't do much for me. I don't know about you. So I threw in a few more little elements, and sometimes you can get worse and worse by throwing in more and more. And such is the case with this. This is just a terrible example of using the same principle of a vertical axis and two diagonal lines. Just terrible example. But I think we can fix this. I don't like this, for one thing. It's too much. Too much. We'll just put this on the background. We'll put this here. We're going to take out one of these ice cream cones. And even though we had the rule of 3 there, we're going to take out one of the ice cream cones. And I think the pink one's cuter. So we're going to use the pink one. We're going to add this little vellum smile. And see, color will instantly make it more difficult. So when you're practicing, if you practice, it's okay if you don't, but if you're practicing and try just black and white. It's striking, it's gorgeous, it's always classy, and it's easier to work with as far as getting shapes to work together and getting your basic composition to work for you. I should have taken a picture of this one. I had this one laid out earlier and it was very fine. And then we're going to bring in 3 of the little flowers. We can separate these 2. Do we want, he doesn't, he can, if he gets buried, he's going to be our tall guy, right? He's going to be our vertical axis there. If he gets buried under there, he's not going to have as much strength to shine his composition. So we want to make sure he gets a little more access, and we'll probably put him on front. We want to keep these 2 separate and get that color on color to be a little more separate. So we're going to add that little flower right there to keep those 2 from blending in into one great big ice cream cone. This may not be the best composition or anything because of the choices here, but it can still be an okay one. You can always stretch them out if you think they're too clumped together. I don't love it. I absolutely don't love it, but at the same time, I don't absolutely hate it. I really had a cute one this afternoon, but I don't remember what it was. Darn it. Just too junky. Too much junky junk. Let's just pull this one off. And then we can bring that down so that smile has a space. I really like this yellow one in the middle. I don't want the blue and the pink, and I have the opposites. So I've got the pink ice cream with the blue flower and the pink flower with the blue ice cream to spread them out a little bit and keep them separate and keep your eye going. This is bothering me right here, so we might end up pulling out something else. I wonder if there's a, I don't know. Gosh, I wish I knew. Oh my goodness. I'm frustrated. Let's see. Maybe we do just do a couple. Maybe it's better if you do just a horizontal line up. Not bad, it's just stiff. Stiff ice cream. Been in the freezer a little too long. But you've got a little curve and smile, so it kind of lightens it up a little bit. Don't love it. Don't love it at all. The okay's bitty 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 penny. Yep. I will do that. You know, we've been trying to get to that all week long to do a little ad for that, and it has been hit and miss all week, and I have it like on tomorrow's calendar to do it or just quit. That's always my drop dead thing where I go, okay, Mary, you just have to do it or just quit. And I don't want to quit, so let's put these guys off. That's even kind of cute, just like that. But that's not a cluster, but that's kind of not a bad thing. Simplicity is not a bad thing in a card. I do like that little smile. So if you had, I may just punt on the ice cream though, because jeez, it's killing me. I really had a cute idea. I'm driving myself nutty. You know, the one of the things. Okay, I'm not gonna work on that anymore right now. I'm mad at it. I'm mad at it, but I will show you how I made it because it is a cute idea. You may have seen, I think it was Stampin' Up! That had the cute little ice cream things this spring. I don't know if they still have those or that look or not, but this is how I played it out. I had an ice cream stamp. I'm gonna get that. I am gonna win. And a block. I've got a little block here. I've got an ink pad. And I'm just going to load it up with some ink right on there. And oh, there it is. Okay, I have a little water bottle, and I'm going to go off the side here and spray that ink right there on the block. Stick some on the ice cream. And make a little ice cream cone that looks runny. Isn't that funny how it doesn't do that bottom part? We can come back in with a second helping, so to speak, and make it have a little darkness too. Isn't that cool? I don't know if I can get another one off of this. Maybe. That's weird looking. Very mottled. Whichever one, if you want to do something like this, whichever one you like best is the one you can do over and over. And then Mr. Cone. We'll go with a darker cone, maybe a chocolate cone. That's all I need was a chocolate cone. Is there such a thing? Ooh, looks like a licorice cone. Maybe the wheel will give us ice cream cones tomorrow, and I can do use these things. Wouldn't that be fun? Those are kind of groovy, but that's how I made that colored instead of just stamping it straight up and down. Let me show you what it looks like straight from the pad. So we can have comparison. That's what we do when we're in school. Oh, guess what? I got splatter on my card base. Good thing I didn't have that nailed down yet. There you go. So this is much more solid, right? Than when I used the ink pad on the block. Cutest guy on block. So anyway, that's another way to do it. I am disappointed. I learned my lesson well. Take a picture if you think you have a good composition and come back to it. So that is that. And I got some splatter on this too. Well, that's going to be a nice little embellishment. That's lovely. Yes, that's lovely. And there we go. I'm not gonna fuss with it. Nope, not gonna worry. So, but we got a cool little things going on here. Just a reminder, go back to the other classes if you want to learn more about the horizontal ideas, the vertical ideas, and the diagonal ideas. We did this on, this on, what else did we do? On study hall. which was pretty darn fun. And then we did some abstract art. Oh, I got to show you. I kind of got into this abstract art painting stuff with gouache. And so I made a little book today because I was feeling like I needed to do something like that. So, oh, you don't have any ice cream? Oh, well, we won't do that, Stamp. I don't think we have any. I think we have a treat, something like a treat thing, but I don't think there's ice cream on the board right now. So don't worry, won't worry. Oh, I can't quit. No, I mean I just quit on every little project. But this one turned out kind of groovy. This was gouache and just did a little slopping it on there. And then I took Nuvo drops and spread it around. So you've got this nice curved, get it? Curved line. We're going right back to it. And we've got a variety of straight lines. We've got diagonal, we've got horizontal, we've got vertical, and then we have some curved lines for some grace and beauty. Otherwise, it's going to get too chunky. And then I just made a cute little book and just took a little strip of the one paper to move it all the way through it. Made a little, what is this thing? A paper clip with the same paper, except that I dunked it in Versamark and then dunked it in clear embossing powder so that it had a little more stability and cuteness. Made a little pocket. It was simple. I didn't do anything fantastic on it, but I thought it was kind of fun. And then I just pulled out my little scrap bin and added the pink scrap bin and added on and added on and added on. So that was that. Yeah. You've got your craft bag to go. Good girl. Oh, puppy sitting. I made a list today for a craft bag on the go. So I don't know if I'm going to put that on the blog tomorrow or what, but it might be helpful for you. But let me see what else. Oh, and then I took the same paper. It looks like this when it's all in one piece, and I chopped it up into circles, and there it is as just a part of a card, and then there it is as a card that I overworked and overthought, but it turned out kind of fun. Not my fave, but it turned out kind of fun. Anyway, that's that. Let me tell you about, and then we've got this little guy that I'm going to fix up, but I'm not going to fix it up on this. So live and learn. Crafts are one mistake after another, and you got to know how to roll with them. I remember being in classes with people where they would make a mistake and it was like the world ended, and it was like, no, don't. One thing I did today that was exciting, I thought I had just a piece of white paper, and it was ended up being a card, and I stamped on the back side of the card. So I just cut it off and started over. But oh my goodness, you got to keep rolling with it, or you'll just have a lot of stuff and not know what to do with it. So hang in there. So the scrapbook event. The scrapbook event is a game. We have gamified scrapbooking, much like we have done card making with Craft Roulette. It is under the umbrella of Craft Roulette, so it's Craft Roulette scrapbook, gamified scrapbook game crop. It's about 5 hours long. We are going to play 2 rounds, and we usually call them sessions, but come to think of it, I think rounds might be a better name for it. And I don't tell you about the game itself until we're actually playing it, but we will get started here with some preliminary activities, and then we will follow up at least for 2 weeks afterwards so that you can post your photos and such, and we can interact with you so that to help you with your journaling. We're going to be talking about journaling. I am going to be giving my 6, maybe more, I haven't decided, favorite scrapbooking tips. That's going to be a video, and then there's also going to be a video on preparing and picking your pictures and things like that. It is going to have a summer theme, so if you have 50 to 250 summer pictures, they don't have to be of 1 year, they don't have to be of one person, they can be of a group, they can be friends, they can be your family, they can be, if you want your neighbors' families, if you go get their pictures and you can do theirs. But it's a summer theme, so I will give you that much. It is a game, and it's a summer theme, and I am going to be talking a little bit more, and I'm adding a lesson because I can't stop myself. And the lesson this time is going to be on photo placement and tips and helps to be able to do some photo placement, even if you don't have a layout. Ah, yes, ma'am, I said it. Even if you don't have a kid, a 1, 2, 3, a color, a craft by number outfit going on there, I'm going to show you how to do it without all those things. Will you have a list of supplies to get? Yes, you will, Miss Sharon. They're very, very simple. They're very, very simple. But we talk about all that stuff, and I owe it to you to get it out there. If you are a big funder with our Patreon page, you get it free as a thank you. And otherwise, it's $29.95. There are prizes. And Leslie Benson will be joining us for one of the rounds. See, I caught myself. Rounds. And she was a fun lady that she's a Stampin' Up person, but Stampin' Up doesn't really do scrapbooking, I hear, anymore. So she was in Fun University when it was the private campus, the original campus, and she kind of picked up on, we had scrapbooking every Tuesday night, and she picked up on scrapbooking again and enjoyed it so much. I said, well, come on and be on the show with us, and or on the crop with us, and get yourself started up again, because it's cool to have something to jumpstart you. Scrapbooking is such a big thing. It's much, much bigger and much more emotionally investing than a card. And so it is much I don't know if you heard that. That was a big sneeze. But it's much, to me, it's much nicer to have a community. I love the community on card making too. But I can sit down and make a card by myself. So, but scrapbooking is fun to have somebody to have in mind and have to play off of things, because there's big questions. Do you have to be there live? No, you do not. It will be recorded. So you don't have to be there live. I think it's more fun live, but you don't have to be. It'll be noon to 5 on that Saturday. And we're planning on doing it every month, the last Saturday of the month. So you plan to learn to scrapbook this summer, so you'll be attending the next session. Good, yes, it's not hard. But there are shortcuts and there's secrets. And I've done it wrong a lot of times. I taught it wrong for a long time. And I don't want to do that anymore. So I fired my scrapbook club that had been with me for 15, 17 years. And when I kept hearing things like, oh, I haven't even opened the last box, or, oh, I've got a stack of layouts this high. And I was going, this is not what I want. I said, I don't want it. I was working hard, and I didn't want to work hard for that. I wanted to work hard for them to have a successful experience scrapbooking. So by golly, I fired them. Bless her heart, there were tears. But it's okay. Oh, so we talked about curved lines tonight. Does that help? Okay, good. Yeah, I think it's a lot. If there's anything I like to do, it's under promise and over deliver. But yeah, between the lesson, the tips, the help beforehand, and just how fun it is. It's fun. You can make a beautiful layout in a couple hours, really, really well. No, you're not gonna get fired. Yep. No, that was, it takes 15, 20 years before I get fed up enough. No, it was sad though, because they were coming every month, and it was fine. But I mean, we could have gotten out for coffee, and it would have been easier. So, but we wouldn't, because we had this thing that we were doing, but they weren't doing it, so it turned out okay. Maybe there will be a monthly membership. Well, the being a big funder on Patreon would be the best thing, to be a monthly membership, and then you'd just be there free as a part, because you get all the stuff on Big Funder stuff too. Because I do all the tips and everything for this there. There's so much to learn, always so much to learn. Okay, I will get that. that little video tomorrow. Note to self. Anyway, thank you guys for being here. Thank you for asking that loaded question, Biddy Penny. Tomorrow we have a very exciting another great guest. I just met her last night. She's got some talent. Let me tell you, she is a talented woman. Her name is Heather Telford, and she is good. I think she'll be very interesting. She's been doing a lot of. She said, "I wish gel press was on the wheel because I'm in the zone, but maybe she'll do a gel press for the card that she makes. I don't know. We'll see. She's very interesting. I'm looking forward to hanging out with her. Oh, enough. Yeah, we all have those pictures, don't we? Except now, Sharon, people don't have those pictures. They just look at them on their phone or on Facebook on their phone. It's the saddest thing. Saddest thing. So we're going to work on that too. Summer. Find those summer pictures and join us. Get in that red chair and find those pictures. And we will see you soon. Tomorrow night, Craft Roulette. We'll do it. Thank you all. Kiss those noggins. You're all such a nice group. I really am pleased and proud to know you. One for you. All right, I'm out of here. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.